It's a little different this time, right?
It is.
We got
back to the roots.
We got it back to the night podcast,
back
right?
to the nighttime.
But even better, we got a special guest for our podcast, right? First special guest on the podcast. We got a D1 kicker from the Citadel, Benjamin Barnes. Come on the podcast.
Barnes.
Yeah, he's been waiting. On the corner. Right of a cup.
Here, Ben.
It
does burn a little bit.
It does burn.
It's a late
On
night
the
episode,
feet,
so
on
we
the
got some
feet.
caffeine.
A little bit.
We ain't got no bang sponsor yet, but we got some sponsors for us.
You see all the hype with Celsius?
Celsius. The ladies have been loving Celsius.
You know, Bangs got canceled.
Bangs gotten canceled?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
They took it away from our school.
Really? Actually.
Just Celsius now.
Wow.
Just Celsius.
Took it all away.
You ain't got no orange drink there, or blue drink.
Well, Ben, I'm gonna put this behind you because I don't have a cup holder over there.
Actually, you got a cup holder, Bobby.
Well, behind Bobby, I do.
You got right to your right, next to the
You sit
jet
on top
control.
of it.
That?
No,
No,
other
no,
one,
no.
other one.
To your right.
Yeah, right on top. Yeah.
No. To your left.
It'll do that.
No, to your left.
Right on
That's
the,
to my
on
left.
the edge, man. On the edge, man.
Oh no, you're on the.
That's the only cup holder.
How about you just go
Here,
right
just-
against the bottom?
All right,
Yeah.
that works. That
All right.
works.
That works.
It'll do.
All right, watch
So, Preston, you're gonna have to be our monster filler.
That's
If you
fine.
could just fill up us around the horn here.
Right
You
now.
fill
All
up-
right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be a late caffeine night.
Extra
Extra long
caffeine for us.
podcast. Extra long.
Alright, give me a little hot tub water.
We got a new rule because James has defied the rule 2 times. If your phone rings on the podcast, you gotta pick up. You gotta pick up no matter what.
No
No
matter
matter
who it
what.
is.
No matter who it is, how
Your
personal
Sergeant Major.
or in person. Yeah, for Ben here. We're gonna get into Ben a little bit. He's from a different background from us.
It was a
All right,
bit
who
of a
wants-
financial
who wants this one?
type
That's
thing.
I think that's
What
mine.
kind of
want
monster
that
is
monster?
that?
Yeah.
I just a regular green monster.
You go ahead. That's my cup. Yeah.
Let
Hit
me
with
get
the
the
monster.
white one,
You
no
can finish
sugar.
that one off. Hold on.
I bet.
Yeah.
Let's get.
Just
Oh,
throw the monster
damn.
can on the ground, I guess.
Give me that double XP.
Hold on.
Modern Warfare monster. Yes.
Cracking
What's
them
the
open.
code on it?
The code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't read
To
it
give a little
off. It's
monster.
gonna get stolen.
I prefer a little high state.
Big Ohio State guy.
That's probably good.
That's fine.
Hook me up with that monster.
All right. Oh, there's a little foamy at the top.
It's alright.
All right. Well, the special guest can go ahead and finish this monster off.
Yeah, then give me the white one. No calories.
We got 2 purple monsters, 2
Two
white,
ones.
and 2 green.
This
Two
one?
white.
What about the 2 blue we got?
And we got
Yeah,
2 blue.
Yeah, that one.
2
there.
blues.
All right. Well, hold that for a second.
I need to get this chlorine freaking filter out of here.
Hey, no. Yep.
Open up.
Shut her in. Open. Let her close.
That's great. Road.
Just give me the rest.
I am. Road. Give me the Road Podcaster 2 Pro. Or the Pro 2. I want that podcast soundboard. I am waiting for that podcast soundboard. I text you every day. All right. Everybody repost this video because I want the Rodecaster Pro 2 soundboard for this podcast so we can get 4, 5 separate mics on this podcast. We're waiting for you, Rode. I text you every day. All right. So give me that Rode. That's all I want. Just one soundboard, baby. All right. Hit me up and treat me well. Or we got special guests on here. We got guys of relevance. So please send me what I've been waiting for. I forgot to set a timer yet again for this podcast. I'm gonna set it like 25 minutes for this podcast soundboard. 25 minutes. So 25 minutes sound good?
Yeah.
For a
Alright.
podcast soundboard.
Got
Yeah,
the
well-
monsters filled up. We're good to go.
All right, we got caffeine
There
for
we go.
tonight. All right.
Look at that.
Stay
So-
awake.
I'm Nick Bostic. I go to a liberal arts college. I play football. I'm a BCMB major. James, we'll skip you, Ben. Wait for you for
I'm
last.
James. I'm currently a science major at a community college for now, and then I'll transfer to a true 4-year college.
I am Preston DeMarco. I'm in finance. You know, like numbers and money. That's where it's at. And yeah, I'm trying to make some money.
Liberal. I think you're a private college. You would say not liberal arts,
It is
private.
private. It's definitely not liberal arts. I'll
No,
say
it's
that
private.
much.
I would say it's private.
It's private.
Yeah.
But
So Jake, where you at?
I'm at a public school.
State school, big state school guy.
Big state
Big
school
state
guy.
school.
Big state school
No,
guy.
they only lost to Georgia by a little bit.
Yeah, only a little bit. You know, we were close. We were close. This is a good game.
What's
We'll
your
make
major, Bob? Have you decided yet?
Construction management.
Construction management.
We're damn near. I mean, you're pretty close to our special guest, you know.
Yeah.
Very. I mean,
Very
you
close.
know,
We're connected.
So
We're
everybody
connected.
sees we got somebody new on the podcast we haven't had before. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I am Phillip Barnes, Ben Barnes, as most people would say, construction engineering major from a military school, actually. So a little bit of new perspective out here on the podcast. So,
Yeah.
So I am construction engineering, 4-year military school, kind of rough, but I'm sure we'll get into that as we go on, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
So, the first question I got, I guess we can go around the horn here, like we always do for our Q&As. If you don't know, Benjamin over here plays football.
Yeah.
What's it like going to football and the military school at the same time?
D1 for sure.
D1,
I mean, to add on top
D1
of
military
that.
school.
Yeah,
Definitely exciting.
it's definitely different for the most part. You got a lot
you
of
don't
people.
have to be in natural here, just we're chilling.
We got a lot of people that don't like the athletes. If you're an athlete, you definitely get crapped on a little bit more.
Really, at school.
So yeah,
At school, really.
yeah.
Wow.
So basically, they can do this thing. They can do this thing where they make you push. So you got to do a lot of push-ups if you're an athlete.
That's
so,
kind of. I
that's
mean, you think that's
interesting.
kind of BS? Like, kind of.
It is kind of bullshit. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
I mean,
hazing.
it is.
Like,
It is a
really,
good- it
though,
is a good
for
way
like
of
just an athlete, though.
Yeah, you know,
you think the
well,
athletes
okay,
would be favorable?
Here's the thing though, like athletes, like if you're a football player and you're going to a military school, odds are you don't want to be there. Like you want to be somewhere better.
Fair.
Really?
You know, but
That's
a lot
fair,
of
I
that,
mean.
like a lot of the guys think they can, but
Even like Navy and Army?
you know, I don't know about Navy and Army, but
Because those are like, you get
Navy and
you
Army
hear
are
about the
top
Navy and
tier.
Army game, you're like, oh, I gotta watch the Navy and Army
Yeah,
game.
those
You're
are-
like,
those
that's
are
gonna
big
be
games.
yeah, those are huge games. But you know, FCS, the Citadel, you know, our big games are VMI, Wofford. You know,
So
smaller.
you guys are still like
You're smaller
Division
D1.
A, right? Like,
yeah,
you're
we're
not
Division
double A,
One,
right?
so like Division One AA. So we play like
Oh, so
smaller.
you're double A.
So like we still, we're the schools that will play the bigger schools so that the bigger schools can build confidence on whooping the crap out of us.
So
Yeah,
they
like
pay you
putting
the money.
60
Yeah,
on
so
you,
they're
you know?
paying us to go to their
That's like
stadium
Ohio
to beat
State
up on
putting
us.
like, you know, like 70 on Akron.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
kind of what they
That's basically what that is. So
Gotcha.
you know, a lot of the guys there, they think they can be at bigger schools. Honestly, some of them can, you know, without a doubt. But you know, the military part with that is like getting up every morning, 7 a.m. You got formation, then you got.
But I mean, I feel like that experience is kind of like a sell, like to get like a job.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You
Without
put
a doubt.
that on your resume, like, hey, I went here. It kind of builds your character.
Yeah, without a doubt. So if you put on your resume that you played football there and you went to school there, like it definitely, basically when you graduate all 4 years, you get a ring, and that ring certifies that you went through all the same kind of crap that you know the future alumni did, and that can get you a good chance at a job. And so when they see that and you played football, it makes them think like you have a good mentality, you have a good work ethic to get
So
there.
like, how many guys are like actually like going like to a military college and I'm going to the military?
Yeah, 50% of our school ends up going to the military. So like we
Really?
have.
So
Yeah,
half
so-
the kids.
So basically, like how a military school works is you can get contracts, and so like different kinds of people get different kinds of contracts. So my roommate right now, he wants to be an Army Ranger, so his contract's Army. So
That's
he's
special ops, right?
yeah, he wants to be special ops. But,
So
so a contract doesn't work like that though. So like his contract is just strictly 3 years Army.
then if he gets the PSTs to go to the special
Yes,
ops, then
so
he'll get
he
a
has to go
contract
into
for
the
special
PST,
ops,
which
right?
is the like performance like physical test.
Mm.
So if he does good enough on that, and then he goes through all of his Army training and does really good, like if he's an officer, which he will be out of our school, and then so if he does all that, does the physical training, and is good with his like Army knowledge, then he'll get into special ops, and he wants to be a Ranger in like the 75th Regiment, which is kind of like the toughest branch of the Army. So it's basically the Navy SEALs of the Army.
Okay.
Is what you can say.
And
it
like
is.
in your opinion, what is the most toughest special ops?
Well, obviously.
Not to throw anybody on like the bus or anything. Like, what
You know,
in
I
your
love-
opinion?
I love
what
all
is it that-
branches. I love all branches, but
If you ask
Navy
an-
SEALs.
Yeah,
Navy SEALs,
okay.
without a doubt. My dad was in the Navy. They asked him to be a Navy SEAL. He said no. Maybe Navy SEAls. You know, just reading all the books. I'm sure a lot of you guys have read David Goggins,
They going.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So
Heard of them. Yeah.
David Goggins, yeah, Navy SEAls. I'm not gonna say it's by far, but it's probably one of the closest. So
I talk to guys who are like just reading the Lone Survivor book, like
Yeah.
with Mark Luttrell. Like that's just a different level of
Yeah, and that's one of the.
test.
So one of the guys that came to our school, like we have every Wednesday we have a leadership training period. So a different person will come to our school at 12:30 and they'll talk about like what they've went through and like how it made them a better leader. And we had a Navy SEAL that came. Navy SEAL, and he got both of his hands blown off in Iraq because they threw a grenade into his bunker with so basically if he threw this grenade and all of us are sitting in this hot tub, what this man did is he picked it up and he threw it back the other way so like that the other people would get blown off, and ultimately he ended up saving every single one of his like fellow mates, and he got his hands blown off and it ultimately earned
So
him
like
a medal.
he like picked it up and like midair he
Oh, so he is
he
the medal
he
honor.
picks it
Yeah.
up, so he chucks it and like midair it blows up,
Yes.
and then he was close to the radius, so it blew it. Oh,
It blew
jeez.
his hands off.
Yeah.
So like one of his
Yeah.
arms, like because obviously you're not gonna throw a grenade with two arms.
Yeah, you just
So like he kind of just went like that,
Mhm.
like kind of took one arm and then one arm below, and it blew off this arm to like the elbow and then this arm for the wrist. And he came to talk to us about it, and since we have a lot of people that are trying to do that kind of stuff, it kind of spoke a lot to our school.
like how many guys like end up going to like special ops? Like not a lot or a decent amount.
Special ops is different because you got like
You got to go through boot camp and then your special ops.
You
right?
get not even that. So basically, to get to special ops, you have to go through kind of a different training. So
Well, like to like go back on that, are most of your guys trying to be officers?
Yeah,
Since
so
they will have a college
a
degree.
good job, yeah. So if you're trying to get a college degree and you're going into the military, so the best route to go is going to be the officer. So
Yeah.
like my roommate, he could go into the army and enlist as an officer, and he'd be making probably like $70,000 a year. And then as like his years go on, he'd make more. But since he's going into special ops, like that may differ.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of different training. So like every morning you hear at 5 a.m. like you can hear like the Navy guys that are going into special ops. They're gonna be running out there singing these random ass chants that you're
Hoorah.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically hoorah, like that kind of shit. So it's gonna be like these different kind of chants.
Yeah, there was actually a teacher at Ashland, who was overseas in the Middle East. I don't have him. I just heard from a friend, but actually he was on patrol, like one of our history teachers from our high school. But a garbage can ended up blowing up and killing a lot of his squad mates, and so every trash day, instead of driving to like our campus, he rides his bike and he stays away from every trash can. And I was like, wow, that's really fascinating that even 20, 30 years later that this guy, like, he had such a bad experience with just a trash can that he can't even drive his car on trash days. And
Like that's like I like the ultimate goal. Like I was like thinking about like after college, like what would it be like to become a Navy SEAL, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about like those guys, they're the best. They're the best. Like their chance of getting into Harvard, like you got a better chance of getting into Harvard than you do going to become a Navy SEAL. Those dudes are the mental fortitude of no one you've ever met, right? I'm thinking about like what sets me apart from the other guys, and like that's just a tough thing. Like where you go, and like after that, you don't act the same as you did when you went in, right? You're a completely different human being as you went in than you are coming out.
yeah,
Even
well, I
from
mean,
the training alone, like the training
yeah,
is
you just learn so much about yourself
yeah.
in that.
That's the thing is like you don't learn whatever like people you're around. You learn how strong you are as a person,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, because at least I've always heard that you have like your buddy. And,
Yeah, your swim
and-
mate, right?
Yeah, and
In
you
the
don't
Navy
you don't leave him. And other than that, then I mean it's really between you and your swim buddy, and whatever happens. There's no.
If you watch like any of the podcasts too, one of the biggest things that, and even the guy that was speaking to us said, like if you go into this thinking that it's like just by yourself, if you're thinking it's just your mental game or anybody else's, like it can't be just you, because in the book, in what David Goggins wrote, he said that he like made his team throw up the boat, right?
Mhm.
And he actually encouraged like his whole team to throw up this boat to make the instructors think that he was crazy. And like basically what that was doing was making them think that they were insane. and that's kind of like the fortitude that all of them became Navy SEALs, because their whole team was basically working on this religious standpoint that they had to do this for their team, and like that's it's kind of crazy how it works, because you can't go into it thinking that it's just yourself, like like I'm not speaking from any professional experience or nothing, but
You fill me up with some more Monster.
I can get you
Thirsty.
yeah, but all these guys, like, you have to have a crazy mental fortitude to go into that stuff like that,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't even know. Like, I don't think I could,
We have
like, to be honest, but it's crazy.
Summer Monster? The orange one?
You
Oh, we
know?
got some of those? Yeah.
That's
Pipeline Punch? Yeah.
Come right up, Chief.
Bob, you haven't said one word this podcast. What do you think
I
of
do.
that?
I do have a question
Bob,
for
what
our
you thinking?
special guest.
Yeah,
I do
what's
have
up? What's up?
So moving away from the military aspect, we've talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
From a D1 athlete standpoint, we all played football together, right?
Yeah.
All of us played football. The first time you ever walked out to a
you
D1
go.
field,
Monster coming
what,
up.
what was it like? Like, what was going through your mind? You walked down on that field for the first time.
Kind of just like, damn, these are some big motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, that was it.
No, I mean,
You didn't think, good thing I'm kicking the football and not, like,
Yeah.
playing
I was gonna
something
say,
else?
I mean, Bob, you didn't bring up the point that I'm a kicker, so.
I mean, good thing I'm kicking the
punter,
football and not running the
line
football,
out,
you know?
You're a scout running back, right?
Yeah,
You
I
play scout
run.
running
I
back.
run scout for him.
So,
I mean, I don't care what
I
you
mean,
are.
the worst thing is, like, first day of hitting, so they didn't really know like me, so like I kind of like worked into the scout running back spot, and then once I got there, this guy, his name's Hassan Black. Yeah, his name's Hassan. He's probably gonna go to the NFL. But this guy hit me so hard, my chin strap was up at my eyebrows. And, that was probably the most humbling point in my football career, in which I realized that I was never going to be like a D1 kind of running back
I mean,
or linebacker or whatever it was.
It's a huge difference from high school, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the first time you ever dressed for a game,
Yeah.
for a D1 game,
Yeah.
you walk out onto that field, and what's going through your mind?
I hope I don't
The
gotta play
first game.
linebacker or running back.
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much.
you
I hope this ball doesn't get blocked, so I don't got to tackle those big guys out there. I'd probably get my brain cells messed up
I
if I
mean,
did that.
did it connect to anything else, like childhood or dreams or anything like that? Or
Yeah,
was it-
this one time I had a football game with a good friend, and we were playing the Browns.
I think we talked about this on the pod, actually.
we have.
Yeah,
You've been
It was-
mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you've been mentioned plenty of times.
from my point of view, great coach, calls a fake punt, and I was the punter back then, and this fake punt kind of ended up in a real bad concussion.
Let's mention that we were playing against kids that were.
We were in 6th grade.
3 years older.
We were playing against 9th graders at the time.
Well, not all ninth graders.
Not
Okay,
all,
no,
but
no,
there
no,
were
Couple
a
of
There were
There were a
select
few-
few.
The few that hit me were probably the 9th graders.
We were playing against freshmen in high school, and we were.
It was
6th
like
graders.
8th,
Yeah.
9th graders. All right.
Basically,
So
this
they were
this
little
hit messed me
bit
up for a
less.
long time. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's still affecting him to this day.
Yeah, he might
Can
have
tell.
CTE.
yeah, I'm actually just recovering from that hit. So yeah, those guys messed me up a little bit, and that's what college reminded me of. A time where these 24, 25-year-old dudes are just coming to mess up my brain.
Yeah,
No.
literally. I mean, it's kind of
First time I got on scout, full contact, I got my helmet popped off, and head hit the turf, hurt a little bit.
but there's
But
gotta
that's
be,
why I kick football. So
there's
I
got to
don't
be
do
some
that.
sort of satisfactory though.
Yeah,
I mean, to achieve that kind of level.
Like if they have you playing scout running back, like there's gotta be a freshman running back that's like, wow, I got a kicker playing scout running back over me. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's a good question. So we have several different freshman running backs, and they brought a lot of them in, and like all of them are like good friends of mine. So basically, one got hurt, and then the other two they just kind of played scout wide receiver, and then they kind of pulled up like my film or like my rushing yards and what that from high school, and they let me do that. And so once they let me do scout running back, actually like my performance and kicking and like all that other stuff really went up because I've never done that before. And then once they saw that, they kind of just let me keep doing it because it was helping me out in the long run.
Yeah.
You know,
so do you
it's
think
kind of
like, as like a upperclassman you'll have a chance to play skill position, or do you think they still label you as a kicker?
Well, they a couple of the strength coaches asked me to switch, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's good.
So I can lift.
I have a question now. I think both Ben and Nick could answer this playing college football, but what do you think makes somebody hit harder than somebody else? Because, like, if you think about it, like, people can only run so fast, but some people just hit harder than others. Like, I remember even playing, like, in 6th, 7th grade, like, some people just hit harder than others. Like, what do you think makes
I
that
can
difference?
answer can answer to think about it. Like, to me, it's just like consistency. Like,
What do you mean by that?
what I mean by that is like you have a guy. Okay, he can hit hard. He has potential. He's like a big dude. He can hit hard. But there's some people that just continually will hit hard. They'll get back up, even though their bell has been rung, and continue to hit you even harder to prove a point that they can hit harder. Right? It's this consistency of I'm gonna get up and beat you, even though I've been beaten. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna show you that I can hit harder. Right?
Okay.
And I've seen that like at that level, even the smaller level, that guys will get up. Oh, he hit me hard. I'm gonna get up and show this dude that I can hit even harder than he can.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get up
that's true.
and I'm gonna lay his ass out and show him I can hit harder. I'm gonna get up, keep going. I'm gonna show him that I can hit harder. That's to me like the consistency of I'm gonna keep going no matter what. I got my bell rung. He hit me hard. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna hit even harder.
So you think even somebody that, might have not laid the hit that they wanted and, like, actually hurt themselves a little bit, they'll get up and just go all out on the next one?
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's like what sets the difference
That's
there.
to my opinion.
Okay.
Ben might have a different answer there.
No, I mean pretty much the same. Like a lot of the guys that I've played with, like some of their mentalities are kind of like pretty much the fuck it mentality. Like if you know what I mean. Like a lot of the dudes came up from like bad backgrounds, and kind of like at least for our school, like we're kind of known as a hard hitting school because we have to deal with all the kind of the military shit that goes on, and like that'll mess you up for a while. And, like all the stuff that these people have to say to you just kind of bundles up in you because you're not allowed to say anything back. So when you get out on the field, you kind of have all this coiled up stuff within you for like weeks on end. And then when you get to hit that guy across from you, it's kind of like a different feeling.
It's like a relief almost.
Yeah, it's pretty much a relief.
That's interesting.
And like that's kind of how it is from youth. I feel like if you have stuff going on at home, even if you don't know it yet at the point, like I feel like you're just always gonna have that kind of edge on your shoulder. And like that's what we've all been told from coaches as we've grown older. Like have that chip on your shoulder that's gonna drive you farther. And like that chip is what's gonna make you a better player.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
It's crazy.
'Cause, I mean, even now you see NFL players that are 190, maybe even 200 pounds, which really isn't that much bigger than us, but they're laying down hits that are like I don't want to feel a hit from that guy.
Yeah.
And like what makes him hit so much harder than somebody else? But
No, like kind of what Nick said, like that drive to keep on getting up and keep going.
yeah,
Like
just
that doesn't come from just being relaxed at school all day. That's anger built up from somewhere.
Right.
Like that can't just happen. So
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about.
that's
James.
interesting.
You got any questions?
Not for Ben, but
What are your
when
questions?
we were inside,
Hey, bro.
so I was thinking about
Yeah,
You had a question.
the air show in Texas, the collision of the two
Oh.
planes. I mean,
You're getting this.
the planes obviously
Good,
were
it's
worth.
a good monster.
I mean, they were almost priceless if you think about it. In a way, they were old fighter. One was an old fighting, like basically bomb ship if you think about it. But how does something like that happen? Was it a miscommunication? If you watch the film of it, very tragic event. Obviously, unfortunate lives were lost and planes were lost that were worth almost priceless. Really, they don't make them anymore. So.
Cool.
But how does the miscommunication between obviously the two airplanes happen?
Jim,
I
can
mean,
I say something to this one?
If you watch the smaller aircraft come down, it literally hits the bigger one. I really didn't do much research on it, but
Yeah.
I was just kind of thinking about that.
No,
Can I
I
say
saw the
something to this
video.
one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, a lot of the military guys that were in that plane, so a lot of them like you're mechanical engineering,
Well, not yet.
but eventually your goal is to switch to mechanical
Playing.
engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the guys that go in contract for like to fly planes and stuff are mechanical engineering. So a lot of it's like kind of the software that goes into the planes, like how to run it and stuff like that.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that may have gone wrong is stuff that in the future you're gonna learn in like a case study on how to fix, which is crazy.
Right.
So you're gonna learn how it could
But
have been prevented.
My question
I don't
to
understand
you
how
for that is,
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
miscommunication for that. I mean, really,
No, I agree. That's
the big
like-
bombing ship really
Even better,
just took off. Like, it was just starting to fly. And
Yeah.
the other one collided with it
Is
and it
it-
caused the explosion.
even better, is it like you said, the mechanical engineer, was it a problem with one of the planes where they couldn't get out of that situation? Or was it a miscommunication?
Of the
Of
the
the
pilots. Yeah.
I feel that's the thing you're gonna kind of have to look at, like on the communication side,
I
which is
believe
kind of
that it was probably miscommunication.
that's what I
thought.
was thinking. Especially if
mean,
it's an air show, because
if-
all the planes have to go through so much checking before they go into these
Like,
kind
how
of
does,
things.
yeah, exactly, how does that happen?
I agree
I'm
that it
like,
might
I
be
mean,
miscommunication.
we're gonna
if
do
you
this.
watch the video,
Like-
it's pretty directed. It looks like it's a miscommunication.
Well, it hit the right wing of the bomb.
And I mean, it hit it. I mean, it looked like, obviously the smaller fighter plane, F something, I don't know. But it looked like it hit the bombing plane, dead on.
I'd fly one of those planes.
I mean, it'd be pretty sweet, don't get me
I'd
wrong.
have to learn how to do it
Preston,
first.
you would get shot.
Dude,
You would
I-
jump off a cliff.
If I didn't have to deal with
Get
the
stabbed to
consequences,
death. Be like, I would jump off a plane.
if I didn't have to deal with the consequences,
Death?
I would do it.
I mean,
If I could take
No fucking shit.
if I could take a bullet through the head, but then I'd live tomorrow, I'd do it.
Dude, you want to be like that railroad worker that we learned about in high school where
Yeah, where he takes a
he takes the
freaking-
bullet to the frontal
No,
cortex. He's
it
like all
wasn't
messed
that.
up.
No, it was like they took like TNT to like blow through the mountain, and he had like a railroad
Shrapnel.
stud go through his head.
Yeah, so the frontal cortex took some major damage.
It went through his whole brain, and
Yeah.
the dude
so
was.
this guy's brain dead. You want to be
It wasn't brain dead. He just couldn't
Are you
remember
saying like
any-
you'd rather just get shot through your brain and everything heals instantly? You're like, all right, I
Like-
experienced getting shot through the head.
I would rather get shot through the head and die for like 5 minutes, and then wake up and be like, oh, and then be able to tell you about my
Of
experiences.
death?
Yes. Then like to not be able to, and then like have to continue living life.
So you're trying to go through death and explain to us what
So
you're
do
feeling
you want
through this death.
do you want to feel the consequences of?
I want to
bullet
feel
shot to your
death,
brain?
but I want to be able to live like 5 minutes afterwards.
Not feel like any
Okay, I
after
understand
effects
that,
like
I
20
understand
minutes
So
later.
what you're saying is, if you go to a hospital and they offer you, we'll kill you for like 5 minutes, and you'll feel dead.
But I don't have to deal with the consequences. So like,
But they
I'm
say
not,
they
like-
could
You don't have to
revive
die
you
for the rest of your life.
for 100%, like 100% ratio. Like they'll revive you 100%. Like there's no like 1% that you might not live. Like if they can revive you, you'll do it.
yeah, dude. Yeah, cause like, why not? Like, I mean, theoretically, like, there's movies about like people like dying and being able to see themselves and then come back, but like, yeah, I mean that only goes so far. Like, if I literally die, and then I can come back,
You'd have like the foolproof answer of what
exactly.
What
I would be able to know
no, I
for
get that, I get
myself.
that.
See that like some people could be dead for like 30 to 40
No, I've
minutes.
seen like I've
Like,
seen
people that-
documentaries on that.
They talk about it like
They
they
talk about
died
it, but
for
I've never experienced it.
right.
So if it could come
But,
from a
like, you
truthful
think-
source.
I mean, they're gone. They're not here for 45 minutes.
So basically,
Where are they at?
what you want to do is you want to go to the other side.
Whose phone was that?
That may be my phone.
Ooh.
It's a timer.
40.
Oh, God.
Podcast.
Good thing it's water resistant.
Yeah, water resistant, not waterproof.
iPhone 14 Pro. We're rolling.
Road, send me a you know what, soundboard, so I don't have to deal with this BS. You feel, Road?
Come on, man. We're
Come on, we're trying. We're putting good audio out. Good topics. Come on now. So we'll continue what were we talking about? But we're gonna go on. We're going audio from now,
Texas, man.
dude.
I mean, yeah, highly unfortunate. Really, I mean, it truly is. I mean, not just for the loss of historical, like, artifacts, really. I mean, you think about it, planes, but the lives, I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, they crashed.
Especially, I mean, it's not even that. It was, like, it's a different thing to lose lives in front of people compared to, like, behind the scenes, you think, like, in war. Like, I mean, it really happened in front of thousands of people. It was an air show.
Well, thousands of people have seen the video too.
Right, exactly. I mean,
It's going
it
everywhere.
was public at that point. I mean, it's like almost like last podcast. It was kind of like the volleyball team. I mean, it just gets posted and then everyone sees it.
Yeah. It just continues
And
to spread.
I mean, you watch the video and you're like, this is terrible. I mean, it's awful to see. Like, it's really planes just disintegrating from aviation field blown up. I mean, it's terrible.
Continues to get reposted and reposted.
Exactly.
Like the volleyball team.
Exactly.
Volleyball team. Not that I was horrible, but
Right. I mean, it's unfortunate for the players, but
some people may
benefit
yeah,
from that. But
they may have
not
enjoyed
very-
the volleyball.
no one
team.
benefits from seeing the video of a plane.
No,
That was an interesting comparison, Jim.
that is relevant to what we talked about.
It's a good relevant
Yeah,
topic.
in the last
Alright.
pod.
Another question. In your guys' opinion, best NFL running back currently?
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Nick
100%.
So-
Without a
I
doubt.
watched something the other day. They say Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's cap.
Nope.
But,
He didn't even play last game.
so,
I don't care that
So
he's
what they
carrying the
say-
Giants. No way.
he is I mean, you look at him, he's getting, there was one game, he got 30 attempts for rushing. I mean, guaranteed, he is probably carrying the Giants.
He
I
is-
mean, that's
what's
not
his
wrong.
what's his average rush per attempt?
Per attempt, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's roughly about,
Probably below 4.
he's over 100 yards a game, I know that.
You're saying Saquon or Nick?
Saquon.
Okay.
But the thing is, he offers the pass game.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, I mean, obviously, he has Kareem backing him up.
Here's
So,
Here's the thing.
it's a bit tough.
But
I mean,
did you
Kareem's
watch
the
Nick Chubb run the ball?
the other disadvantage to Nick Chubb is, again, we talked about this last podcast. It's from a coaching standpoint. Like, he can't help it if Kevin Stefanski says we're going to throw the ball instead
that
of giving
is
it to
the
him.
problem, though.
You
You
know,
look, Nick Chubb sits out a whole series. Kareem plays one series. Then they switch.
That's
It's
very
like,
true.
You give Nick Chubb the spot that Saquon's in. I mean, who is Saquon's backup?
Yeah.
Orleans Darkwa, some guy you've never heard of.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if he gets hurt, the Giants are Daniel Jones and Slayton. They ain't nothing.
But I guess we
Besides
can talk
the
about like the GOAT, the greatest of all time, right? We're not talking about backups. We're not talking about Michael Jordan's backup, right? We're not talking about LeBron James' backup. We're not talking about Kobe Bryant's backup. We're talking about the player itself, right?
Right.
As a player itself, you watch Nick Chubb run the ball at this era of football. You're watching grown men who have their whole life been
Football.
told to tackle a man
Kill this.
on the ground, put this guy to sleep, and
They
they
can't.
struggle.
They can't.
They can't.
That's
I
why
mean,
he
it
has the
takes-
mo- he
they're
has-
professionals.
Listen, Nick Chubb
and
has
they
the most.
struggle to
Nick
tackle
Chubb
him.
has the most tackles broken, like per game, out
Oh,
of
yeah.
any national football player. in the
I
league.
mean, I'm not
The-
saying that
Saquon gets the ball more, and he doesn't have that stat.
if you
Right.
think about it,
Right.
isn't it crazy how, like, Cleveland, they don't have the best record right now, but with two of the top running backs in the team, why are we not a run-based team?
Coaching.
Yeah.
Why are we not run-based first?
The other thing is, like, it's so hard to tell, like, who's the best NFL running back. Dude, you can have a crazy offensive line and a mid-tier running back, and it'll make them look good.
Yeah.
I mean, That's like the hard part. I mean, you could have a great line, and you could have like that mid-tier running back, and he'll do maybe a little below like what Nick Chubb's doing. I mean, Nick Chubb's doing as much as he can.
So if we have that run-based team, then why does it come down to coaching? Like why is Kevin Stefanski?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Kevin Stefanski.
Right, it's coaching.
So are we saying the coaches are still the cause of the Browns shitting their pants every year?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
to me,
It's definitely a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look, we should not be passing as much as we do, but we
With
have
our backup
to.
quarterback.
We have to, because we're in such bad situations in the second half that we always have to throw the ball.
Well, to me, it's not even like I want to say something that I've been thinking about before even Kevin Stefanski, right? Jimmy Haslam, right?
Fucker needs to get it.
Another Browns owner. He's the one who made the Deshaun Watson decision. Supposedly, right?
Right.
Year after year, dummy coach after. Listen, I love that Kevin Stefanski's like, I take the blame. We gotta get better.
Right. That's a true
But
coach.
when do you make the point of turning where you're gonna fix the goddamn team and get better?
Right. So,
Right?
like, kind of the.
So
sorry to
Jimmy
interrupt.
Haslam, who are you hiring that's gonna be to fix this point? Because Kevin Stefanski isn't doing it.
I mean,
So
He isn't.
to kind of like go off your point, what are your thoughts on? I mean, Deshaun's back in I believe 2 to 3 weeks.
No, 2 weeks.
2
Yeah,
weeks.
He came back
2
to practice
weeks.
last
Two-
week.
Yeah, 2
Yeah, he
weeks.
came back to practice last week.
So, will he? I mean, obviously, if you look fantasy-wise, everyone that plays against the team they just came from, what do? They do good.
Well, here's the thing, Jacoby.
If you look at Ted Ginn, every time he played the Carolina Panthers, he did amazing.
Here's the thing, though, Jacoby Brissett is not doing bad on
Right.
fantasy.
I mean, he's
The only thing that Jacoby's doing bad is he can't finish a game.
Right.
Our first 4 games we lost. Our first 4 games we lost by combined points of less than 12.
Right.
For like 4 games.
if you really
I
think
think
about
the
it,
Browns' problem
It's just his
is
final drive.
we cannot finish.
we have the players.
In the red zone, we
somewhat,
gotta score.
somewhat.
Do we not have the players? We have the running backs.
And the problem is,
We
we
have
have the receivers.
We have cornerbacks who like to get hurt.
we cannot kick our secondary. We need to do.
K. York's a
defensive
stud.
coordinator.
K. York is a
defensive
stud.
coordinator. We talked about this.
He was.
We need a new one.
He did kick that one against
that's-
Carolina.
that's
I'll give
what I
him
was
that.
bringing
Joe
One.
Woods isn't cut.
One.
One.
What has he done?
He's a
after
rookie.
that? Nothing.
He's a rookie.
If you can't make a
Get
chip
him out.
shot,
I don't give
why
a
are
fuck.
we
Get
not
him-
trading
Get
for
a
him?
veteran.
He's
Yeah.
the best, bro. He's a top 5 kicker in the NFL.
Adam Vinatieri. Get him out of retirement.
K. York is the top 5 kicker in the NFL.
He kicked that one against Carolina. I give him
promise
that.
you that.
I give him that.
Give
Get
K.
me out
York.
there. I'll kick
But
a
if he
61-yarder
missing the
one
chip
time.
shots,
Fucking bull. That's bull crap.
I mean, come on.
That's
These are
bull
getting
crap.
heated.
We thought our punter was so good. We gave him
Micro?
a can. No, the Scottish Hammer. He's gone.
Oh yeah,
He's
he was
dog shit.
crap. We knew he was crap.
No, we thought he was so good for so long.
Cade York is the first. Cade
Yeah.
York is the first kicker that can make it outside of 35 yards consistently.
Consistently.
Yeah.
He missed one last week.
Yeah, from like 59.
Yeah, hit that.
Out of 35 yards.
Yeah.
Inconsistent.
No, I'm saying
You're saying the 35 in, he's going to kick.
Do you understand how hard it is to make a 59-yard field goal in an NFL
Right.
game?
Right.
He shouldn't be expected to make it consistently because our offense should be able to at least produce inside the 25-yard line.
Right,
Our
but,
offense
I mean-
should be able to get inside the red zone.
Right, which we struggle for.
Exactly. Because we have our backup
Here's
quarterback
what-
in.
That's what I got to say. All right. Okay. Kickers recently, since the extra point change, have
Got
been
moved to
struggling.
35 yards.
They've been struggling, obviously,
Then
because there's like we need to draft kickers now and get rounds, right? But why in the hell did Phil Dawson become a dog with like
and
damn
Justin
near 12,
Tucker, man.
15 years
Justin
straight,
Tucker.
right?
Justin Tucker's a once-in-a-lifetime
He's a
kicker.
straight G.
Phil
man.
Dawson.
He
He's
ain't
the
missed
best
nothing.
ever.
Phil Dawson was
Yeah.
kicking really damn
We had him.
consistent inside,
We had him.
inside 50.
What, 10 years ago?
No, still.
But still, it's the same damn field goal post that we've had now, right?
Yeah, no. Well,
So what's different from
Again,
Phil Dawson
once-in-a-lifetime.
and Cade York?
Phil Dawson was the best when he was in the league.
All
At
right.
the same
Look,
time as
look.
Justin Tucker.
look.
and all
We're
these
talking
other
about
guys.
all this
When he was a
offense.
rookie.
They should be inside the 25. What about defense, though? We can't
Yeah.
be giving up 25,
Yeah, that's
30
facts.
30 points a game.
You can't be expected to win.
Well,
This
the
is-
thing is,
expecting-
I mean, if you look at Kansas City, I mean, their defense isn't insane.
Okay,
But
that's
the
true.
problem is, like, they could let up 25, 30 points, but their offense could put that
Okay,
up, no
yeah,
problem.
they have a offensive of the century.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
bring us to
so
Sean
some-
Watson.
Some team like that could take 30 points, and they could
Yes.
put up 40 against them to win the game.
Yeah.
The
Occasionally.
problem is the Browns.
They're the Browns.
Our offense could probably score on a good day 30 points.
So
I mean
exactly.
that's like a heyday for Jacoby to throw.
the question,
Exactly.
Him and Amari and Donovan's People Jones are like having
In which he was getting
a
trained.
throwing day, and or Nick Chubb is running the ball like it's nothing to get 30 points.
this is a question for all
That
of
is
you.
our big problem. Our defense can't stop them, so our offense always has to score. I mean,
Exactly. We need to get
so
rid of
either
our defensive
our offense
coordinator.
always has to score, or our defense has to stop someone,
In 2 weeks,
which our defense can't. Our secondary is so bad that they just throw the ball on us and touchdown or field goal guaranteed. I mean, they're inside the 20, no problem. I mean, I thought we were gonna win against the Bills. I mean, the first quarter we stopped them.
Twice.
I mean,
we were up like
Stephon Diggs
13-0.
didn't have a reception basically in the first half.
Stefan was getting upset,
Which is-
actually.
Which is
Yeah,
crazy.
you see him talking to the coach?
Yeah, I did
I mean,
see him.
yeah, he was upset, which I was very surprised by our secondary. I mean, I was impressed. I mean, but the problem was, even with that, by the end of the first quarter, the Bills established a run game. I mean, Singletary
That's the
was
problem with the Browns. right?
was running on us like it was nothing.
You need the Browns. They got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's a starting
I mean,
NFL running back.
Borderline.
No matter where he goes, he's
the
a starting
best
running back.
Besides the
dynamic
Browns.
running back
He's
duo.
a
that there
starting.
is.
He's a starting running. He's a starting NFL running
Right.
back, right?
I mean, he was starting for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, you think
So-
about it.
You have two starting running backs in your run game. You gotta be able. You have nobody wants to stop Nick Chubb. He's tearing it up.
Right.
Nobody can stop him, right? Kareem Hunt,
Pass there too.
hardest, in my opinion, he's one of the hardest runners.
I agree with
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Out of pure standpoint of running the ball down your throat, he's
Nick-
gonna get the ball.
And you give him a short
He's
screen.
gonna run straight to where he's supposed to run. He's gonna run your ass over,
Or
Right.
jump
Yeah.
over you.
or you jump over you.
so
So why not establish this running game? To me, it's not talent at this point. We can't blame the players. We got Myles Garrett, one of the
Best D
the
line.
best DNs on pass rush.
Yeah.
Abe can easily jump back into pass rush, defending balls. Not the best, but he's good at it. Javion
another thing
Clowney.
is though,
Hold on. Javion Clowney,
He's a
one of
great
the
run defender.
best run defenders. Now, our very interior, our DTs and our nose guard, okay,
mid. Right.
But we got two of the best DNs. in
Like
the
Von
league.
Miller. Von Miller won the MVP of the Super
Yeah.
Bowl because he's an edge
Yeah.
rusher.
But Myles Garrett after the game says, this is what he says: Why am I supposed to run? Why am I running through a brick wall when it's in the wrong direction? What does that tell you? He doesn't believe in what he's being told as a player from the coach.
for the Browns,
Jimmy Haslam is hiring some dumbass coaches. That, in my personal opinion, is what's happening.
from an offensive standpoint, we've established the running game is amazing. We got Chubb.
Yeah.
We got Hunt.
No, listen.
But they don't know how to
Listen.
use it.
Listen.
But
Listen.
is Watson the missing piece? Is he the missing
We
piece?
don't.
No.
I think he'll help.
He's a great quarterback, but he ain't the missing piece.
You know what I'm saying? We have the receivers.
Listen.
Cooper, we have David
No.
Njoku.
We had Jarvis last year. Amari's okay, different type of running wide receiver. But listen, this ain't the missing piece. Jimmy Haslam. I'm speaking to you here. I hope you see this. You need to fix what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. You're the owner. You're the multi-billionaire elite who has the opportunity to own a club football team. You need to fix it. It's on you now.
That is
This ain't no more fun and games. It's up to you to hire the right men or women in the front office. Fix the game. No more. I'm gonna hire Yale, Harvard. We're gonna play the whatever's the best here. What's the best odds? I want to see some football from the Browns. We have some talent that can't be beat. We have some of the best talent in the NFL,
We do.
and we cannot beat
That's
anybody.
That's the
We're at
question.
3-7, 3-6. I don't even know where we are right now.
You-
'Cause I'm just tired of
I'm 100%
watching.
honest. I think if
We cannot beat anybody in the NFL,
You think they-
and we have some of the best talent in the NFL.
If we had the
David
best
Njoku could probably be a top tight end.
He could.
Again, with that point, we franchise David Njoku, and we still cannot win a football game.
If we have the best talent, that's the question right there. If we have the best talent, which we've all established we have some of the best talent, what's the missing piece? I think you just answered it.
It's coaching.
It's the coaching.
It's the coaching.
It's the
Right.
coaching. It has to be the
So,
coaching. It's not the
say
quarterback. It's not the
You
quarterback.
say you put Njoku in Travis Kelsey's place. How would he do?
It doesn't change anything, I don't think.
I think he'd do just as good as Travis.
Yeah.
If not better.
I
Exactly.
agree.
He's
I agree.
faster.
He's
Yeah, I
stronger.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he's huge. I mean, if you look at him when he warms up, he's massive.
He's huge.
He's
Yeah.
a great run blocker.
I agree.
I mean, which develops the play action way more. But unfortunately, kind of fortunately, but unfortunately, with Kansas City, it's almost only a passing game. So you don't really develop a play action off anything.
They have
The
a
Br-
play action.
The
but it's not
Browns
strong as
should
it is.
have the strongest play action in the game. I mean, with Nick Chubb, you should be able to run play
That's the
action.
thing.
any
They're just the
down.
Browns are just wasting away Nick Chubb.
Play action should
I
be
agree with that.
play action should be the most unsuspected
Okay, well,
play.
hold up.
Wait, hold on. Running
Here's the
backs.
thing.
Go ahead.
Kansas City. Who's their running back?
Currently, Edwards-Helaire is going to be back, I think, this week. but,
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not one of them.
Paccio is currently. I mean, he's
Yeah,
averaging
exactly.
like 90 to
So we
100
don't
yards.
know, and like the Chiefs, one of the best teams for the past 5 years, right?
I mean,
we
one,
would
yeah,
agree.
one of
One of the best 5 teams.
for
They've
like
won a
3
Super
or 4
Bowl.
years. Yeah,
That's the Browns' ultimate goal, and we don't know who the running back is. Ultimately, we need that quarterback who's gonna finish in the fourth quarter. Because Patty Mahomes, we know can, because he has to the past
right.
5 years.
But
with
I
that.
believe
Yeah.
that Deshaun offers that rushing quarterback type. I mean, not quite to the
I think-
Lamar.
Okay, but does Patty Mahomes?
Not really. I mean, he just
Yeah.
he has the brain. I mean, he really.
Exactly.
Think,
So
I think
do
in
we
an-
think Deshaun Watson's the replacement that can win the Super Bowl?
You're asking for leadership standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I
who's
think-
gonna lead
I
this
think
team?
the Browns. Listen, like, from coming from that point, as a leadership standpoint, Myles Garrett says we don't have the right type of practice mentality. They're leading us in the wrong way. And I said this to my dad. I said, okay, all right, Myles Garrett, I agree with you. We're paying you
90.
$30 million a year. I don't know, 20, whatever. Millions a year to Myles Garrett. Why aren't you doing it?
You should lead at that point, right?
If you're talking all this shit about the coaches not leading, how come you don't take it into your perspective? Why don't you lead the team?
That's true. Honestly, I see where you're going with that, but I feel like the NFL today is such an offensive.
It is.
I would
It
agree
is.
with
It
that.
is. It is.
Right.
It is.
You're
But
right.
if you think about it, a defensive
He
stop
can say.
means so
He can
much.
say. He can say. F whatever's coming into the game. We're getting to practice an hour early. We're gonna work out.
Okay,
get
well,
ready.
yeah. If
Listen,
you're-
no, just listen. You can get ready. You tell everybody this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be a leader. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna bust ass on the Saturday. Instead of coming at the same damn time, Kevin Stefanski tells Myles Garrett to come to practice. I'm gonna lift at this time. I'm gonna work out at this time. I'm gonna practice this time. And then after we lose, I'm gonna say, I'll sit on the bench by myself and say, oh, we're not being coached in the right direction. Okay, Myles Garrett. I believe you. I 100% agree with you. Why don't you make the difference as a football team and be a leader? I don't give a shit what Kevin Stefanski says. You lead this team to a Super Bowl.
I agree.
If you want to be that elite player.
I agree with you.
That Hall of Fame
but also,
defensive end rusher.
Now,
yeah, I
do
also
you
agree
think
with P.
Patrick
that fucker
Mahomes
just got
takes
in a
that
crash.
position, or is it Andy Reid? I mean, you think that they lose Tyreek Hill? I mean, if you look at him, how he's striving in Miami. I mean, a really huge player. Do you think Patrick Mahomes leads that team?
I still believe, in my opinion, yes.
Yeah, I
Without
agree.
Tyreek Hill, he is still the leader of that team.
Are you talking Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
I think you give any head coach Patrick Mahomes and his team, he's winning the Super Bowl.
Unfortunately, Browns fans probably think we'll just ruin this quarterback.
So going back
Yeah.
to your
I
point,
mean, you look. I mean, we've drafted so many quarterbacks.
Tim Couch started off,
Yeah.
and then we've had a list going down every single fucking year.
I mean, Johnny Manziel, we thought he was the man.
No, hell no.
Nope.
He got fucking tackled by like 2 cops.
Right.
Got
I mean,
drilled.
you think about it. I mean, he did nothing.
And Baker Mayfield.
Right.
I've gotten the
He's not
bandwagon.
even the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers anymore.
I was on the bandwagon for Baker Mayfield for a little bit.
I was
mean,
Team
most people
Baker.
were.
And
I
then
was
I
Team
saw how
Baker.
this man just threw away our
Yep.
team.
Yep. I agree. But
I still love the
Now, do you
mentality Baker brought, but he's not a good football player.
But going back
in
to
the
your,
NFL.
Right.
In Oklahoma, I'm sure he's great.
He's great in college.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
So then we talk about what is the difference that sets Super Bowl teams away from the Browns, who never won a Super Bowl.
you look.
What's that difference? That sets
You
them
look
apart?
at the Eagles. They were 8-0 going into the game against Washington. I mean, no one would have thought that they would have lost to Washington, right? They lost that game, and Washington is not good this season. I mean, they're not. They're
That's
not
what I'm
great.
saying. We have
The NFL's
everybody-
different, though.
The NFL,
They are.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, it's unpredictable, really.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
NFL has
They have the talent.
everybody has players that can win.
I mean, right? We could beat the Chiefs unpredictably. I mean, really. I mean, we could play them, and
See, that's kind of contradictory to what we've been saying, though.
right.
Like, so you're saying if we give the Browns Andy Reid, would we be able to beat the Chiefs if they had Kevin Stefanski?
So in my opinion, I don't think so.
I agree.
This
I
is
think
why.
I think Patrick Mahomes is that much of a leader.
Even Patrick Mahomes, if you give Patrick Mahomes the starting position,
Yeah.
maybe you can win a Super Bowl. In my opinion, same thing with we talked about at the beginning with Ben. Navy SEALs have this I want to win mindset. I'm not going to quit.
You
These
need that
dudes,
kind
at the end of the day, they're getting paid millions of dollars.
So they don't really get.
I go home to a big bed. I go home to food on the table. I can drive a Ferrari, a Lamborghini in the wintertime. If I'm in a winter city, I drive a loaded Tahoe, $100,000 Escalade. All right, I still live a good life, right? None of these guys have what it takes to flip that mindset and say, I'm going to lead this team to
so
victory.
going back to your point about Myles Garrett, that's a defensive leadership role. We keep talking about Patrick Mahomes. That's probably why. I mean, it is, in my opinion, it is harder to lead a defensive role than an offensive role.
Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
But you think
Yeah.
about it. If you look at the Browns offense, we have some of the top linemen that we signed.
We do.
I mean, if you were to look like a year or two ago,
This is what I don't get.
Okay, hold up. Our biggest defensive player. Who? Denzel Ward.
I would
that's
agree.
Myles
I
Garrett.
would agree.
Okay, who's our
Myles
linebacker? Sione Takitaki.
yeah. Well, who
Right.
did you sign from?
Taki is our biggest.
from
That
Atlanta.
motherfucker don't compare to Ray Lewis.
Oh.
Ray Lewis won a Super Bowl.
But Ray Lewis, I don't know.
Ray Lewis
how-
killed
Name,
man.
name
Yeah.
another.
But
name
everybody
another
was like on
linebacker
their
was better,
defense.
though.
Everybody
Like,
on their defense was like, "Oh shit, we got Ray Lewis on our team." Myles Garrett comes out. Yeah, everybody's love.
He's
loves-
okay. The thing is,
Yeah, we
everyone knew Ray Lewis was the number one linebacker in the NFL.
I want to see Myles Garrett turn it up.
What you think though?
No,
You got to
I
compare.
don't think about shit.
You've got to compare him to J.J. Watt, TJ Watt,
Fuck
the
all those guys.
Bosas that are all
Whatever.
just as good.
I don't give a
And
shit
Von
about
Miller,
any of
who
it.
Right.
just played.
Okay, whatever. Miles Garrett, if you're the number 1 draft pick in the NFL, why don't you show us why you're the number 1 draft pick in the NFL? I don't give a shit. I would tell him this to his face if he was here. Miles Garrett, I understand. I completely 100% agree with you that the Browns need some help. Their coach is not helping. He doesn't have enough discipline in the locker room. He doesn't have enough discipline on the football field. I see this as a collegiate football player, as a person in the classroom, as a man, whatever you would agree with. I see that the Browns are not seeing where they needed to be disciplined and win some football games. Miles Garrett, my challenge to you is to step it up as a football player and come out and say, this is my goddamn team, right?
But I mean, that's
I don't give a shit about Miles Garrett. This is my team. This is why I'm the captain of the football team. I want you to come out and tear it up. I don't give a shit if you're a starter, third string, the practice squad. We just signed you. I want you to come and tear it up as a football player. And that's not instilled in their locker room. I guarantee you. I've seen that as a person, as a man, as a person who's played football. That's not instilled in their locker room. And if the coach isn't going to do it, then somebody who people respect, like Myles Garrett. Everybody respects Myles Garrett on that football team. I guarantee you. He's the reason they're getting paid millions. They need to respect Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett needs to step up as a football player and make the difference. If Jimmy Haslam isn't going to fire Kevin Stefanski, if they're going to keep going on the same road they're going to go, like the past 50 years the Browns have been doing, a player needs to step up and make that difference.
So you think the next leader that can lead this team to victory
Is a player.
is a player,
Yes.
and the player is Myles Garrett.
You think
I
about it
think
though.
Myles Garrett can do it.
Okay.
Kevin
Yeah, he
Stefanski
100%.
coached Kirk Cousins, and most people think if you say, Kirk Cousins, like not thinking about this season, what's he think to you? A backup quarterback kind of type role, right? I mean, he's always kind of been like that backup quarterback. Look at him this season. They washed Buffalo 33-30 overtime, like it was nothing. I mean, they came back. I mean, Buffalo had him down, but I mean, he has been. I mean, not only him, but Justin Jefferson. I mean, leading the team. I mean, their defense isn't horrible, but I mean, I think they were down 9-27, like halftime. Came back and ended up winning overtime. I mean, someone like that, he has the
And
mentality.
you can go
He
against
wants
that.
to
Like,
win.
okay, offensive player. This is an offensive game nowadays. Look at Ray Lewis, like we said earlier. When Ray Lewis came out of that tunnel, Baltimore versus 49ers, he came out more ready than ever. Playing against his family. Head coaches going against each other. The Harbaugh. They're like, this is the shit right here. It doesn't get better than this. You get two brothers coaching each other against the Super Bowl. Imagine one of us saying we're gonna become coaches in the NFL and we're gonna coach against each other. We're coaching grown men into battle. And Ray Lewis comes out of the tunnel and he's like, "Let's go!" He's ripping that grass and I'm scared.
He doesn't have that kind of leadership.
We need that leadership.
Okay.
If somebody, even if he's not the best, okay, listen, even if Myles Garrett's a third, fourth round pick, like Tom Brady, comes from the rough.
Tom Brady was like a 7th round pick.
Exactly. A diamond in the rough. We don't have a guy that's coming out saying, I'm the mother best. I'm going to tear it up. You know?
Do you guys remember Ray Lewis's dance when he came out of there?
He goes,
He did
slide
not
to the left.
he did not give a single
Slide
crap.
to the right.
Exactly.
He grabs that grass, strips on his chest. I don't give a shit who we're playing.
Myles Garrett is gonna do that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard like any of the radio guys talk. Myles Garrett plays with rocks in his free time.
He does.
He's a
a dog.
Do you think?
He's a dog on the football field. Like I would like to see the mentality
But-
of when Myles Garrett ripped off Mason Rudolph's helmet every single
And
play.
I agree with Myles Garrett. Sometimes as a person, I just don't want to say stuff. I don't want to be that guy that's like it proves a point and it doesn't go out there and satisfy everybody else. I understand that as Myles Garrett, as a man going out to play football. But you, sir, you now have the opportunity. You have the job. You got to get this football team ready to compete at the best level.
So
Because there's no turn back now. If you lose one more, 3-8, this is
No
another.
playoffs.
This-
I mean, you're done.
No, you got to win out from here. Miles Garrett, you got to make that. You got to make that difference in the locker room, and that's it.
do you think
Because Kevin Stefanski isn't going to do it. We saw for 2 years, he ain't going to do it.
you said it yourself?
So somebody else has got to make that difference.
We have
Jimmy Haslam ain't going to do it. A player's got to do it.
we have to win the next game, like all of them. We have to win outright.
And that's
Watson comes back in 2 weeks.
if we luck
Will
out
he make a
in our
difference?
division. if we make
Watson
the
will be
playoffs.
able to make a difference,
In
but
the end game.
he's a dog. He's a great quarterback.
he a
in the
leader?
NFL. But he's not a leader. You need that guy who's going to come in, like those Navy SEALs. Like,
I don't know.
I'm gonna, no matter what, right? I'm gonna be a dog. Come on, baby, we gotta finish this 4 miles. We gotta roll in the sand. We gotta jump. We gotta finish. I'm not quitting if you're quitting, right? You gotta. Come on, baby. Come back. Come back. We gonna finish out. That's what we need in the locker room. That's what we need. We need somebody who's gonna quit or give up with everybody else, or he's gonna say, "I'm not quitting if you guys are giving up. I need you to come back and fight for me."
Player.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
We need somebody to come back and say, hey, listen, I know we're struggling. F all that.
Now, if you
I don't
guys,
give a shit if the plays are bad.
If you guys,
I'm coming out and fighting like a dog.
I'm gonna ask this as a question. Guess the number 1 defense currently right now in the NFL.
Cleveland Browns.
Cowboys.
Nope.
I would say.
Eagles.
I would say.
Going on fantasy points, kind of. I mean,
Okay. Out of pure statistics, basically.
49ers?
right. So it's off stats, really. Yeah.
49ers?
What? How about now?
I don't.
What do you
I mean, I would say the Bills. Just
Nope.
'cause-
No, it's not.
My guess would have been the Cowboys. So
Oh.
Yeah, that was my guess.
No.
Patriots.
Really?
They have so many sacks, interceptions, touchdowns. I mean,
So
That's
what motherfucker is going to
That's what
stand up on
Rizzo
the
was
defense?
saying right
Right.
here. Perfect example.
now if you were to think, just think, who's the leader on the Patriots defense?
Don't know.
I couldn't think of anyone. I had no idea who's on the Patriots defense.
I know Bill Belichick coaches the
I mean,
team.
He's
Right.
a great coach.
His
but
son coaches the
Who
team, the defense,
is
right?
the leader
His son's the
on the
defensive DC.
defense? Right?
Right.
It's a
They're
very
supposed to
well
start
coached
breeding
team.
Coach.
I mean, they come
We've
in
been
31
on,
points
we've
in
been on
fantasy
NFL
last
for
week.
quite a while.
They had a returning touchdown. Couldn't tell you if it was a pick or if it was a kickoff, but that's what they did. I mean, they are number 1 currently in fantasy. Doesn't matter which way you rank them.
And that's what I struggle as a person, right? You need that guy who's gonna say,
Right.
who's gonna go out and fight with us into death.
I think if you
Who's
ask
gonna go fight to death with us?
any person that maybe they're a Patriots fan, like you ask them the name, like the
Never
big
go
guy
guys.
on the Browns defense, they're gonna say, Myles Garrett. If they ask me who's on the Patriots defense, no clue. Back in the day, I'd say Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
Right? He was a stud. I mean, he was a huge D lineman that could do I mean, he got interceptions. But now,
Aaron Hernandez.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who's on the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
But now,
Great
I
point.
mean, a Patriots fan could be, oh yeah, they got Myles Garrett. I mean, he gets 2.5 sacks a game. But seriously, we're still
And that's
what
what
3?
I don't
and 8?
understand. Baker Mayfield, great leadership, but unfortunately, I don't think he had the skill set to play
Right.
in the NFL.
I think he had.
Miles Garrett has the skill set to play in the NFL, but does he have the
energy.
leadership?
I think Baker had the energy. I mean, he always wanted to win. Maybe he didn't have enough to offer to our offense.
You need that guy that's gonna come out and say, "F everybody,
We're gonna win this
F our
effing
owner,
game, no
F our
matter what it
GM,
takes."
F our DC, F our head coach. We gonna come out and tear it up." That's what Ray Lewis did. He gave it. He's like, "I don't give a shit who we're playing. I don't care if we're playing Spartans if we're with Spears. We're gonna come out and tear it up. These guys are like, yeah, we're behind the leader. We can fall back on somebody. We're gonna give it our all. If we fall back, he's gonna cover us. And he gave it his all, right? They knew that. They knew if they gave it their all, and if it wasn't enough, he was gonna give it his all, and it was enough.
Right.
That's why everybody, Ray Lewis was so famous, right?
Yeah.
Mark Luttrell.
Marcus
You listen to him,
Luttrell.
Navy SEAL.
That motherfucker's insane.
Why did those guys love him so much?
Because he's the leader.
Because he was a leader, right? They knew if they died, it was in hands of somebody who would lead them into battle and
Into
win
a
for
win.
them.
They knew that
They were okay with dying.
if it meant that other people were saved for happiness.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
so I'm gonna go from an opposing point. You look at
If you're going from an opposing point, you want to kill that motherfucker,
no.
Marcus Luttrell.
I'm not going like
Is that, that's what you're saying?
Mike Tomlin. I mean, he has an over 500 rating of like insane.
Fuck Mike Tomlin.
I'm not saying I like him, but he averages a 500 season almost every season. And you look at his team this year.
Yeah.
Who's he got?
No one. And he doesn't have a 500 rating
And
without
they
Ben
put up
Roethlisberger.
with the
The
Bengals.
quarterback.
If he goes positive this year, then I'll give him
Right,
credit. I'll
right.
say he's a great head coach.
So who is the leader besides him? I mean, what your quarterback?
He's not
He's
going to go
new.
500 this year.
There's all different types of leaders. There's vocal leaders,
Right.
there's silent leaders. But the Browns right now, if we're going back to the Browns,
They need someone to step.
they need a
up.
vocal leader.
They, need
They
someone
got
to
too
step
many
up.
guys that are silent leaders, and they need somebody who's going to say,
I
listen,
think.
this is what
They
we
need a
gotta
guy that's
do.
going to pull them into a meeting without a fucking coach.
I
Yeah.
think Nick Chubb, though, he's so quiet,
Yeah, exactly.
but he is the leader of that team
Yeah.
quietly. Like,
But
if
at
he were to
least
speak
You
up,
also need a
produces
vocal
I
results.
think
leader.
everyone would
That's
listen.
a great point.
I mean, you look at them. You look at all these running backs or something. They get
And
up.
that's the point.
They
He's
talk
been-
shit to the defense.
He's
You
been
look at Nick Chubb. He gets up. He doesn't say nothing. He gives
he's
the ball
been
to the
quiet
ref.
for so long that if he came out and said something, it would mean something.
Right.
More than Myles Garrett. I respect that opinion.
Right.
Where if Nick Chubb came out and said, "Hey, I want to fucking win a Super Bowl," and you ain't contributing to it, then get out of here.
I mean, you look at team.
I agree with that. I
So
agree with that
you
statement.
say you look at Joe Mixon. He gets tackled by a defensive back. The defensive back talks shit to him. Guess what he does? He talks shit back. You look at
He
Nick
also
Chubb.
beats women.
He runs. Exactly. I'm not
Oh,
bringing
and
that up.
Kareem Hunt
But
doesn't.
he
Man,
runs.
kick the
Joe
women.
Mixon runs the ball for 5 yards, get tackled by a linebacker. He talks shit to him. Nick Chubb, he runs it for 3 yards, gets tackled by a cornerback. He
And
gets up, he
As
goes,
somebody plays football,
throws the ref the football and goes back
that's
to a hug.
that's just even more disrespectful than not talking.
That's what I'm
You know,
saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I play against a guy who just lays me out and looks at me in the eyes and says nothing, just
That's
looks
just
at me.
disrespect
That's like,
on
damn.
another level.
You look at me in the eyes, Preston. I beat the shit out of you. And I get up and walk away. Don't say nothing.
Like nothing happened.
And I get up and do it again, repeatedly, to multiple people on your side. That's like, dude, this guy's a real deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say Nick Chubb's a silent leader, but it's in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's what I'm
totally-
saying. If he came out and said, listen, we got to do it without the kick coach or not. This is a team. We had to take it into our own hands.
So,
I don't think the Browns are ever going to win a Super Bowl
so
with
Nick
the
Chubb,
pace they're going at.
like-
they need
like
They
what
need
we're-
somebody who's going to
what
change
we're
it up for
saying,
themselves.
he is a silent leader. But on top of that, you need a vocal leader. And it could, I mean, it could be a coach, like we said. I mean, it could be a quarterback. It could be anyone that says, "Hey, we're gonna fucking win this shit." I mean, we're gonna give it our all. I mean, it doesn't matter defense, offense. I mean, you gotta have that mentality that we are not gonna lose this game. I mean, we should have one of the best rushing defenses. We made Jeff Wilson from the 49ers a backup running back. Looked like he was a stud for Miami. Ran for over 100 yards on us. I mean, should never happen. I mean, when I was watching the game, I'm like, going into it, I may throw a bet down that, hey, the Browns are going to lose because the odds. I mean, we're 3-8 now.
Yeah.
But I I would think, hey, we should, with Clowney and Garrett on the edge, we should stop anything. Nothing should go outside. All we got to do is have our linebackers fill the gaps.
And listen. I'm not discrediting Myles Garrett.
Right.
He's a stud athlete. He is a number 1 draft pick. He has been living up to his potential. He goes out, he tears it up. But what I'm challenging you, Myles Garrett, you can't see him right now. Listen, Myles Garrett, we live 30 minutes from you probably. We could run to your house right now. This is what I wouldn't want to run in. This is what I challenge you to. I want you to say, screw what the head coaches and Jimmy Haslam's telling you. Now, listen, I don't know the politics behind it all, but we need you as a football player to come out and say, we're going to win this goddamn football game, no matter what it takes, no matter who you are or what you are. You have that in you. Nick Chubb, I see it in you too. Look at this silent look. I saw that Instagram post, right? He comes out saying, 4 years, nothing to show for it. He's squatting, nothing everybody else is squatting. He's in the weight room working harder. Nobody has ever worked harder than before. He comes out, leading the NFL. Nobody can tackle this dude. He's like a god. He's on a different pedestal than everybody else in the NFL. But the Browns, at the end of the day, are still 3-7. Screw the head coaches. You ain't changing that in the middle of the season. You ain't changing your owner in the middle of a decade. We need you to come out and say, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. We need you to step up as leaders. Because Kevin Stefanski isn't going to do it. We've seen it. Joe Woods sucks. We haven't seen it. We need you as players to step up and do it. And that's it.
So if you were to, I mean, just to put it into if you were to play fantasy football, like perspective type wise, you look at Amari Cooper for the Dallas Cowboys. Great wide receiver, right? You look at Njoku.
And Browns.
Very solid tight end. You look at Peoples-Jones. He may not have produced the past couple of years. I mean, the Browns couldn't really throw the ball. Then you go
rookie?
Nick Chubb. Top running back. I'd say top running back, right? Then you go, now that we have Deshaun Watson.
Supposedly one of the top quarterbacks.
Exactly. Supposedly one of the top quarterbacks. What are we missing on the offense? A coach. Potentially a coach. Right? We should not be missing anything on offense. I mean, granted, we have not seen Deshaun play yet. So if we
did in preseason.
the problem is, I mean, obviously Deshaun's been out of the game for a little while, so we can't blame it on coaching yet. I mean, we signed him to some absurd amount of money and absurd deal. It's hard. I mean, it's hard. He should be a very talented quarterback. Don't get me wrong. You have to sign him to some money. I mean, we've signed him to a lot.
He fucking better be worth it too.
Right. I really think the problem is the defense. Either someone has to step up, or we need a new defensive coordinator. And I mean, I don't really blame it on the line. I mean, if you go back and look at the Jets game, that's not the defensive line. That's our secondary. And I think our secondary really is always hurt. If you think about it, they don't want to play. You look at Ward.
Yeah.
He's always out because his ankle hurts.
I would agree with that statement, but playing as a college football player, it's a hard detriment on your body.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It probably.
And I'm sure in the professional level is a completely different game.
Right. I'm not saying that they aren't hurt, but like Ward has been hurt like the past 3 years, and I'm not saying that he's not
Same
hurt.
with Clowney. Clowney's been hurt all the time.
Right.
They knew that's like him on.
I mean, Miles crashed his Porsche, rolled that bitch. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that probably didn't feel good. You know, he played the week after.
He's
Well,
a big,
not
he's
the
a big
week,
guy, and that's
but 2 weeks after he rolled that Porsche, he was still sacking the quarterback for at least
That's
a
like
sack.
what do you say the greatest of all time basketball is? Ben, we'll go around the horn here. Ben, greatest
Michael
basketball.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Jordan. Some may say Kobe. Okay.
Most people say Jordan.
Some people may say Will.
Never heard anybody say well.
Yeah,
Some people may say that. Small
Oh,
population.
that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Forget,
What did all three of these guys have? Some people may even say LeBron.
yeah, I was gonna say
I
what
was
about
gonna say,
LeBron?
Very
He's
talented and
got
they
He
have
broke
leadership.
records, right? What did all three of these dudes do?
Leader.
We're the best in their generation.
They won.
No shit.
Listen,
That's
I'm not
the
the biggest
question.
fan of LeBron. I love Michael Jordan. I'll say Michael Jordan's the best of all time. But everybody will say, you play against Michael Jordan, you were scared to play against him.
Right.
You knew this dude would bring something to the court that nobody else would.
Energy.
You ain't gonna win.
He brought that to his team. Even if he dropped 75 points, you knew his team was like, oh shit. Michael Jordan's going to go off here. And we can't stop him.
And it's not even just him. Like, he may not have a good game.
Yeah.
But he brought the energy that, hey,
Yeah.
maybe someone else will build off of
Yeah,
his game.
the
It's not even
famous-
that.
the
It's
famous
every
flu game.
fucking game, dude.
Right?
And that's the same
flu
with
game.
that's the same with Navy SEALs that have the same energy.
They build
They
off of
always-
each other.
They're gonna die with each other. They're gonna live and die with each other.
Like, for
No
example,
matter what
say,
it takes.
say me and Nick go to the Navy SEALs. I'm struggling, but Nick's mental state is just there. Like, he's getting through this shit. He's drowning like it's nothing. You know, he's taking it, but I'm just a bitch. You know. He's like, come on, like I'm building off his energy.
Yeah.
That's
what it takes.
That's what all these leaders
Having him.
need. I mean, like the Browns, they need that energy. I mean, but all these leaders, like MJ, I mean, it didn't matter if he has a bad game, but if everyone else has a good game because of his energy, that's why they won.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what we need.
Yeah,
That's what
the
we're
Browns
missing.
need.
I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a coach, an offensive player, a defensive player, quarterback, linebacker. It doesn't matter. And I think that could be seen at all levels.
I agree. In high school, we can
Yeah,
do it.
I mean, obviously, team sports. I mean, in wrestling, obviously, it's just you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
mentally
have your team.
within you. Your team is supporting you.
Yeah.
But they're not with you. You know. I mean, they're not out on the mat with you.
Yeah.
But when you're in football, you
Yeah,
have
even
your
Pee
11
football, you weren't a part of it, but me, Ben, and Preston, the Preston on the back, we had a great year. Some of you told us, very close, said, hey, it's going to be hard, but you can do it if you bring it in you.
Right.
That's what we need. We need somebody that's going to say, oh, I said it right. We can do it, but we struggled this week. We need somebody who's going to give it up on the lines. When they fail, they're going to come back and say, hey, we can do it. But we got to come back even harder. If we go 0-16, we're going to come back even harder. And at the end of the day, I believe it's just all about the guys who are bringing that leadership to the playroom.
Right? Yeah, it's all what you bring.
Mhm.
All right, so we're gonna go on to a different topic.
Yeah,
Yes,
man. We've been on
ready?
leadership for the
Fucking
last
ready.
45 minutes.
Oh, dude, the
So-
fucking NFL.
Maybe an hour.
I
Holy shit.
personally found out now as an 18-year-old, if you're under 21, to buy any firearm, you have to wait a minimum of 10 days to pick it up. So say
Under
you,
18?
so say you
Or
go
you're saying 18?
say you go to the Fin Feather and Fur and you want to buy this shotgun that's on the rack. You fill out the paperwork. You have to wait a minimum of like a week. Say, I mean, I don't know the exact.
You're
amount
saying
of
over 18 years old.
Right, but you have to be under 20. If you're over
Like
21, you
18
can
to
get it
21
right.
range.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So for that 3-year range, you have to wait a minimum. I think it's a minimum for like 8 days to pick up your firearm. That is current ATF rules. They just put that in effect not too long ago. What are your thoughts on that?
This is my thought, right? Let's hear it right now.
Currently,
That's fine if they want to do that. Why don't you make the age of 21 of everything?
Right.
If you can go fight for your country and snap somebody's face off their head
Why can't you buy
or off their body,
Why can't you get a rifle that day?
why can't you get
Why can't you drink alcohol at 18? If you
Why
could
can't
go,
you buy
if
tobacco,
you could,
smoke
if
a
you could
cigar?
go die for your country. I mean, that's how I feel. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. If I turn 18, I can go die for this country, but the only thing I could do is vote and buy a damn lottery ticket. That's all I could do. I could not ever take a sip of alcohol legally in the United States and go fight for this country.
The only way I see like any way that it takes 8 days is a background check. But even
Background checks. So if you're 21 currently right now, like if you were 21, you go in there, you go purchase a handgun. Say since you're 21, they call it in. Whatever the ATF or whoever does it, they check your background. You get the handgun now.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is
How? I mean, what takes them 8 days to do a 18-year-old background, or a 19-year-old, or a 20-year-old? What I mean, what are they looking at much more than which a 21-year-old is looking at? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you look at the unfortunate school shootings, I mean, they're 18 to 21 years old. They're going and shooting up
they're
schools.
the ones in high school though.
Right.
So
So I mean, that's like I believe that group is getting targeted for this. But what more are they looking at? I mean, I believe if you look at say Nicholas Cruz's background, he just graduated from school. What are you gonna look at before he does that shooting? What are you gonna see?
Nothing.
That is a red flag.
Clean background.
Right.
Sometimes Mr. McCord said the guys, CCW's got legalized in Ohio. You don't need a CCW license anymore.
Open carry.
He said that the guys who are gonna show and tell you that they have a gun
Or the clean
in their car are gonna say, "Hey, I have a gun in my car. I just want to let you know. I don't have a CCW, or I do have a CCW."
The guys are gonna do bad.
And the guys that are
always
gonna do bad are gonna say, "No, I got nothing in my car." It doesn't change nothing for him, right? Because the dudes that are legally gonna carry are still gonna legally carry. It don't make a difference.
I mean, yeah, it's like drugs. I mean, it's illegal, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's still, drug money. That's part of our economy.
Topic just came up. I'm gonna be honest. Why do drug dealers lace their whatever they're dealing with fentanyl to kill their customers? Don't get me wrong. I know they split it and then split it and split it and split it. Whatever the line is, if you're not the first guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have your guinea pig guys, and if they survive, it's a good batch, is what they say. But why kill your customers with fentanyl? I get
honestly,
it. A small dose doesn't absolutely murder you, but if you get a little more than a
Damn
small
near.
dose of fentanyl, you're KO'd. I mean, you're done, right?
Honestly, I've really thought about this.
Why kill your
And
customers?
I haven't been able to come to a conclusion because, I know this doesn't sound good, but you're losing business if you kill them.
You're killing your customers, your income. They're coming to you. I mean, unfortunately, you got to think of it as a business, like you said. They're coming in to buy. It's your consumers, and they're coming to buy something, and you're killing them. You're losing customers. That's like losing sales in the car industry.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Ultimately, what is everyone chasing? The best high.
Right.
So if you can find that
I'm
perfect
not even
batch
looking
that
at
has been
from that standpoint though. Why kill your
But
customers?
even in Ohio, the heroin deaths, heroin's not a drug that was invented to kill you, right?
No.
It's a drug that
Gets you high.
sends you into a
Different.
relaxed, I'm gonna chill out and get high state. I don't need to move. But
It's all laced.
fentanyl in it.
Right.
People are dying. All-time numbers, right? What's the head honcho, the top of the food chain saying? We're gonna put millions of dollars at risk for this fentanyl.
Do they replace fentanyl with another ingredient though? Because say fentanyl is cheaper than something else they're putting in there, so theoretically they are making more bang for their buck.
I think the simple fact is people are gonna come back and say, "Hey, we need this." People are loving it.
Yeah, well,
But they're
they get
like,
addicted.
I don't get the point of if they're killing more business than they are, like, or if they're recruiting more business than they are killing. Sickly, like that makes sense. Okay, we kill a ton of our clientele, but we're getting more and more people coming back to come for this fentanyl heroin.
Right.
That makes sense.
Another thing
But they
that
just don't. I think the simple fact is they don't feel remorse for people that die.
Oh,
They kill them and they're like, all right, whatever.
Well, that's
We'll balance this out and see who
bad batch is what
see
they
who
blame it
people
on,
come
which is
back for more.
crazy. You think about it, like if any one of you guys were to kill someone, you'd feel what terrible.
Yeah.
These people basically openly kill someone, and they go bad batch.
Yeah.
And that's okay. They get a new one, they sell it to someone else.
It gets the guilt off of them.
Right. I mean, it's
not
they
their
they
fault.
don't have a guilt of killing someone. It's just
Well, yeah,
Got a bad
they
batch.
make it feel as it's not their fault.
right.
It's,
They just put it on something else, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at anything. I mean, cocaine is. You look at any smuggling thing. I mean, that's the biggest thing coming into the United States. If it's magnetized to a car coming from Mexico, but technically it's coming from Colombia, I mean, it's coming in here to try and get coke in here. That's why coke is the most expensive drug in the United States currently right now. I mean, black market type sales, obviously, but I mean, it's in special compartments. But I always thought it'd be kind of cool to be like a border patrol guy trying to find that type of shit. I mean, you got like cars coming in, you got drug dogs. I mean, they do everything to get those dogs to not smell anything, to not be able to find
And it
anything,
still comes through, right?
and it still comes through. I mean, I watched a documentary where someone had the brilliant idea to literally pack a semi-tire full of marijuana. And they open this thing up, and it is literally packed solid. From the tires rotating, it literally was solid. It was, I mean, I don't even know what I'd do it. I mean, I don't even know how you would take it out
Yeah.
of the state it was in. A sledgehammer couldn't even pack it as tight as it was, just from rotating on a semi-tire. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're obviously smart for putting it in there. I mean, they got found, but
That ain't
what do
smart
you
enough.
do with it, man? It's packed in a solid brick. I mean, you gotta grind it up or something.
You need like a knife to, cut it up.
Dude,
again,
I don't even think a
guess.
knife. I mean, you literally need like a jackhammer to break this shit apart. Like,
That's-
if you watch it, it is literally if you go around a rim and try to make a tire, it literally looks like that.
that's not-
And I'm like, what the hell, dude? It's crazy to see like people smuggling French bulldogs in here. If you
French bulldog.
I've not heard that one before.
If you have not watched How to Catch a Smuggler, you gotta do it.
It's on Netflix.
French bulldogs, birds, like shit like that, flowers, like invasive species to this country. People do it all the time. Like, yeah, French bulldogs, you can go breed them in Mexico for like $100, like nothing. What do French bulldogs cost here? $10,000. You smuggle them in here? What? I mean, so you got a couple $100 in flights and dog charges. You sell them for $10,000. You got a business,
Makes sense.
right? It's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know what to say this country is in, but
it's. I mean, I've just
it
always.
needs help right now.
It does. I mean, it really does.
It needs help, but after that,
I mean,
I think
yeah,
it's
it's
pretty late.
3 in the morning. I didn't realize it was quite that late.
It Is it really 3?
One more topic.
Oh shit. Okay.
So, currently, I had to write about
AI.
English language becoming the official language of the United States.
I agree.
But,
Nick.
as a contrast point, we have quite the amount of Spanish-speaking Americans. Like, immigrants or not, legal or not, there is quite the amount. To become English the official language. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we founded this country on a certain basis. If you go to Spain, right, you gotta know how to talk Spanish. You go to South America, Spanish. You go to Africa, this is a dialect of French. You're supposed to know French, but not know English. But some places around the world are now speaking English. And in my opinion, you have to know how to speak English at certain places in the world.
My sister's in Paris right now, and she said all the people she's interacted with know how to speak English.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually, I forget the statistic, but a lot of countries and cultures now are
So
learning how to speak English as a main
I think
language.
you need to speak English as an American. But I don't go against the fact of needing to speak some basic of another language.
Right.
I think that's good to know.
So do you think
Because it'll
That-
still be around.
Which language?
that English
Spanish.
would unify the United States?
English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it already has. Yes.
Right. Right. So if it were to become the official language, do you think it would unify it a little more?
I think
Do you think it would
unwrittenly
entice
it already is.
those Spanish-speaking Americans to learn English a little more?
I think it already has. Right.
Right.
But it's just not written.
It's
You
not
ask
in
a Spanish
bold
person that if they're in the
letters.
United States, you're gonna learn to speak English.
You have to.
Yeah.
From a
So
business
I think
standpoint, you
Even
need to
more,
learn.
it's just gonna say you gotta know how to do it officially. But people, anyways, gonna have to know how to speak English. So I don't really think it'll make that big of a difference. But you're gonna have to know how to speak it regardless, even if you do go.
In speaking any other language is only a benefit.
Yeah.
Right. If you were to be a native Spanish speaker,
if English is your primary language, yes.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's how I thought. Now, do you think racial profiling comes into effect with that? Like,
You
if
mean
you're
as like African Americans or as like
not even just that, like Latinos coming in that speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah, I agree with that. You say Florida. So many Spanish-speaking people.
Right.
Like racial profiling. I would say easily that you have a large amount of non-English-speaking people coming to America to chase a new life and a better lifestyle.
Right. Which that is not a problem.
Yeah.
In any way, as long as it's a legal way through the United States. It's not illegal in any way. I mean, obviously, it's hard to stop some illegal immigrants, and if not, I mean, we try to get them away to do it legally. But the problem is, currently now, is the wait list for that. Ever since COVID, it's been a wait list now.
Yeah. I mean, America's growing every day, though.
Right.
I
I
mean,
mean,
we have-
people
It's
people
like
are
330, 350, 350 million, I think, in America right now.
Right.
I mean, you'd literally see it just around here, which is, I would say, more on the rural side of like not a society, but like our environment that we grew up in. It's becoming a lot more populated than it ever has before.
Right.
So yeah, I can only imagine other areas that.
I mean, think of Tokyo.
That's true.
It is literally like they are building up to get more square footage.
Yeah, I mean, those buildings, they literally just have to build like up. Yeah.
Yes. I am on that note. It's been pretty late.
It is pretty late.
It's been a good podcast.
Been a long one.
It's been
A
very
lot of
emotional.
topics. Browns, you fix it. But on that point,
We'll see what happens
got-
this Sunday.
yeah, we'll have another podcast out soon. And
we'll have some video, but sorry I had to end early on the video. Straight audio. My fault, but Nick Wasick signing out.
Preston DeMarco signing out.
Ben Barnes signing out.
Jake Knapp signing out.
James Orient signing out.